Aloha, everybody. Welcome. I wore my NASA shirt because today's show is going to be out of this world.
That was pretty cool. The whole Tesla rocket ship. I mean, I watched some of that, like on Twitter. I saw some of that feed. It's pretty cool.
Oh yeah. I saw that great Facebook meme on there that was like the astronauts that launched into space. Smart move, getting off Earth.
I mean, Earth's a weird place to be right now.
Yeah, I've seen some really good ones. Our buddy Drew, those guys over at Delicious Marketing, he had one that was like, "Hey, does anybody have a 2019 backup? Maybe we could just fire it up at December 31st and roll forward from there." I thought that was pretty good. Another one was like, "Hey, we survived COVID. We survived killer hornets. It's going to get better from here." And then it was like, "Oh, is that Godzilla?" Like in the sun, it looked like Godzilla. Oh, God. Yeah, it's been a lot of stuff.
We got the crew. We got Shan, Jacqueline, Doug, Lee, Dorn, Zach, Leah, Don. Whole squad is here. How's it going, everybody?
Coming on. Yeah, Michael Shannon. What's up, Michael? Julie. Yeah, sweet. Awesome. Talbot, welcome, everybody. Aloha. Zach, what's up, buddy?
Zach Attack.
Picture with the crazy hair.
I saw that.
See Don. Cool, Michael. Welcome, everybody. Well, you are at our Friday Marketing Live Jam session. Welcome, everybody. We have a good show lined up today. We have a lot, as usual. We've had lots of stuff going on, right, Nick?
No shortage of stuff going on.
Yeah, no shortage of stuff. Nick's
I was just gonna ask everybody that's joining us right now, what are you guys working on? Anything in particular? Anything interesting? Any new wins? Any new clients? Talking to any new prospects? Maybe you guys could let us know in the comments so we can talk about it a little bit. Raving Metrics, noticed your new bookcase.
Looks good. So well, this is the old bookcase, and I fixed it. So I set up. I was kind of setting up in another part of my office here, like on the wall that's over here, because this bookshelf, I put so many books on it that like it was sagging, and it just didn't look good. So anyway, but I fixed it.
I wanted to tell you, Tom. So I told you I met a network marketer the other day, right?
Yep.
Like a video guy. And so I went over to his house or his home office, studio, whatever. And you guys aren't going to really understand what I'm talking about, but I have to tell you this just because it's relative to Tom. Okay. He lives at Oklahoma Bill's house. Who's the guy that helped?
Oh, he does? Yeah. Yeah, Oklahoma Bill. He fixed my bookshelf. That's so
he
funny.
Bought Oklahoma Bill's house. Such a small island. We live on this tiny little island, you guys. Everybody knows everybody.
Yeah, super small community. That's so funny. Yeah, well, I had him. I got the Veridesk, right? So I got the Veridesk. So now I can elevate everything over here and had the bookshelf fixed. So. You gave me this. I like this pad you gave me. Nick gave me a pad to stand on, which is nice.
Oh, yeah. It's funny. Shan says, so it was sagging months of the whole wide camera. Yeah, it wasn't a wide lens, Shan. Sorry. Smoke and mirrors.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was sagging. So, but he did a good job fixing it. And it was a lot easier for him he had a way better way to fix it. So.
Nice.
I actually ended up being able to get more books on it, which I don't know. I thought I was going to have to buy another bookshelf, but I was able to get them all on there. Oh, awesome. Well, we're super excited everybody's here. Let's look through the comments and see what people were saying about what they've got going on. Yeah. So the other bookcases over there, it's got all the other bookcase that you guys see. The only books on it are magic books. Those are all magic books that you see on the other bookcase. These are all my business, marketing, copywriting, all those books.
You should give us a magic trick one day on the live. What do you guys think? Put some twos in the chat if you guys think Tom should give us a magic trick on the next live. Give me some twos because I've seen him do some magic and it's pretty good.
I've been working on a trick that would actually work on the live. Now that you mention it, it's so funny. Maybe next week, if you guys like it, I'll do it.
We need to know. We need some support. Help me round this up.
Zach says he's been working on his handyman app. Dorian says he's been clearing brush on his 12 acres of forest. Laugh out loud. That's so funny.
Yeah, Zach. So Zach has been getting a lot of app customers or leads and prospects. So that's very cool. I noticed several people over the last couple of months that are interested in what he's doing.
Yeah. Talbot says he's been working on new websites, SEO, and he's been going through the Hayes method and Groove.
Nice.
Awesome. Let's see. Frankie says she's been doing the Pinterest thing with the Hayes method. That's cool.
Yeah, my sister-in-law is doing that too right now. She's got a luxury lifestyle website. Luxury home and lifestyle, I think. Something like that.
Jacqueline said that her appointment did you see? I'm sure I know you saw it, but I don't know if the rest of you on here saw Jacqueline's post about the Facebook appointment things. So they rolled out this thing where you can do the appointments. And so she set it all up and she was excited. She's like, I got an appointment. But then she said it just turned out to be a shark trying her system out.
Oh. We get that a lot.
All the time.
All the time.
Oh, a new web submission. And then I'm like,
I got one this morning. Sometimes I know a lot of you guys want to see, the inner workings of a chat bot or a contact form or what questions we're asking, all that stuff. But usually when we have it on a live site, those are our client facing sites. So you guys you're messing up our conversions, our tracking.
Well, for a while, people were they would add listings to my influencer site and then it would mess up the map because they were on the mainland. And so it expands the map to show wherever the businesses are. So I'd go to my influencer site and Maui'd be gone. It'd be this huge map of the United States. I'm like, man. So I have to go find the listing, but that hasn't happened for a while. So I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Zach says he's hoping to publish his handyman app here sometime in 2020, I think. That's awesome. Leah says she's been working on a new niche site. Megan Bennett says couple new clients on my plate. Not a lack of busy here. That's awesome.
Nice, Megan.
For those of you that don't know, Megan does. She works with a lot of clients with social media and stuff like that. So she was in our private coaching as well, and it's really great because she got an SEO client. And she didn't know anything about SEO, but she got a client and had somebody to fulfill it, which was awesome. But yeah, she's a good person to listen to if you have questions about social media and stuff like that.
Also just touching on that topic, next week, you guys, we have our AGM call. I know a lot of you are, members there. I know Megan's a member. Next week, Wednesday at 3 p.m. is when we have that call. So you guys are definitely going to want to show up to that. All of you AGM members, you're already signed up for that training, but we're actually going to be opening up the training to everybody. Even if you're not an AGM member, we just wanted to give you guys a chance to see what we're doing because we have some really exciting stuff with what we've been doing here within our agency. So we're going to talk about how we've been, of course, building our list speaking to that list, getting more leads, turning those leads into email addresses. And we are about to launch a very interesting foot in the door social media strategy. And I'm going to share all that with you next week, Wednesday. And we're going to be outsourcing all that stuff. So I'm going to be talking about that too. So the one thing that I really, really like about what we're going to be doing is that it's very scalable. So, we've been spending this time building this list. And I don't know if we have a link to it. We have a link to that? I'm not sure if Catherine's on the call either, because
I don't know if we, he's been having some power outages.
I'll as soon as Tom takes over talking in a few seconds, I'll go get a link for you guys.
Well, we may have to create the webinar.
No, it's already made.
Oh, okay.
Oh, wait, maybe it's not.
Let me double check. Yeah, because even if you're not in Agency Growth Machine, or you're not using that approach, like, you want to come to this training because the strategies. I mean, it's a coaching call, right? So it's not a presentation of AGM. It's not designed to get you to buy AGM or anything like that. It's the coaching call for AGM members. But the reason you want to come if you're not an AGM member is because, the AGM, like this, what Nick is doing, you could put other things in front of it. Like, you don't have to have AGM in front of it. Like, he's going to show you basically how he's systematizing the whole back end. And so even if you're not doing AGM, like, you could still use what he's doing to, for prospecting, for whatever it is, whatever prospecting method you're using, and that workflow that comes on the back end. So
yeah, Ron, you're gonna love it. Megan, you're gonna really like it. Dorn, you are definitely gonna like it, because it's I'm gonna show you sort of an autopilot strategy to fulfillment. And I know Shan is already gonna be there, so looking forward to see you guys. Jacqueline as well.
Here, let me make a webinar.
We appreciate that, Jacqueline. So we have a lot of stuff to go over on this next call. A lot of really, really good stuff, because things have been changing pretty quickly, right? We've been really focused on talking to as many businesses as possible with the shutdown. And, 2-3 months ago, when this first thing happened, we started talking about how we were looking at a big long-term strategy. So, we're at this pivotal moment where we're seeing some really interesting things when reaching out to the businesses. I'll share some of that with you now. A lot of businesses are obviously opening back up, but they're still very receptive. They're actually more receptive than even ever to phone calls and other outreach methods, because they all want to go back to market with as much momentum as possible. So there are some things that you can say to these business owners to get their attention, get past the gatekeepers, get their contact information, build your list in a pretty interesting, non-salesy, non-cold call-y type of way, where you get all the information you need, but you also start to build that relationship with them.
Yeah, give me just a second here, Nick, and I'll have this all set up.
Okay. Wallace is saying he was hesitant to pay $500 for it. Do you think it's worth it? I'm not sure if you're talking about AGM or Hayes, Wallace, but
I think he's talking about AGM.
Oh, well, Wallace, one customer pays for that. So I'm gonna show you how we're speaking to hundreds of potential customers. And for most people, the biggest obstacle they face when trying to build this business that we all talk about here is really having a pool of customers to talk to on an ongoing basis. Once you solve that problem, then you can, send out an email, make a sale. But if you have to go, put your shoes on and walk into a business and talk to a business owner to try to get a customer every time you need to get a new customer, well, that's why most people don't have lots of customers. It's difficult. We all know that.
Yeah, well, and that's what's the real power behind it, right? Is the being able to build a list. I mean, at the beginning of the, at the beginning of the shutdown, like we we set up a brand new influencer site on, I think it was like March 21st or somewhere around there, right? And within 14 days, we had built a list of over 300 businesses in a specific niche, that we had permission to, like, they had given us permission to email them, add them to a list, and talk to them about our marketing services. I don't really know of anything else that can really do it that fast. If you tried to do that with paid advertising, it would cost some bucks, and we were able to do it, and it didn't really cost anything.
And so many, it just opens up so many doors, so many ways to monetize, so many opportunities, because for one specific site we created, obviously it's restaurant focused. And like Shan just mentioned, a lot of restaurants that were closed are now opening up, and they feel the need to ramp up quickly. So one thing that we're going to do to that specific list, well, there are a couple of things we're doing in that list, but one thing is we're going to fill up a direct mail card, or 9x12 card, because now we have a couple hundred restaurants on an email list. So we send out an email and say, hey, we're filling up this card, $500. Normally it would cost you thousands of dollars to reach 10,000 homes in this specific area. Respond to this email or go to this page and let us know if you're interested. That type of prospecting, that type of sales strategy is so much more powerful than, having to go out and find each and every business to buy an ad space to, which can totally be done. We've done it a whole lot. I mean, that's how we got started, but you don't have to make it that difficult on yourself.
Well, I'm trying to get a.
No worries. So, yeah, you guys, these lives, they're automatically recorded and compressed and saved in the Facebook group. So you can always go back and watch it later there.
Yeah. So I just dropped the link inside the. I just dropped the link inside the chat. But if you guys go here, offlinesharks.com/AGM call, that will get you registered. And then if you're already an Agency Growth Machine member, you don't need to do that. You're already registered for the call. Or you will be registered for the call. So awesome. Well, maybe we should do some, let's do some shark shout outs.
Yeah, let's do some shout outs, do some giveaways, go through our standard procedure.
Yeah, we got a good book to tie in about some. Yeah, so it's all going to be good. Okay, so let me share my screen here. I'm so excited to be back with the freaking. So I upgraded to Catalina, and it's like every freaking thing in the world. It's not letting Google Chrome record my screen. Well, we're gonna do it.
Oh, you're trying to grab a video of it?
No, I was just trying to show my screen, but it says Google Chrome needs permission to record. So I don't know if it's going to record my screen or not. So that's right. We're just going to do it anyway. It's like everything I've tried to do, it's like needs new permissions since I upgraded. And it's like so annoying.
Here, okay, let me pull up my screen. I'll run through the shout outs.
Okay.
Okay, so our first shout out today is Dorn Brenton. Dorn got a website client and a PPC client today. I was out cutting my grass in my tractor. Dorn, it sounds like you're always cutting the grass at your house. I don't know. That's a pretty funny meme somebody put there. I wouldn't be surprised if Dorn had a tractor like that, honestly.
Probably built it himself.
Yeah, he probably built it himself. Dorn, maybe you could give us in the chat, let us know how you got that client. Was it like SEO, or were you running ads, or where did they come from? But either way, really good job, man. let's see. Let me pull up another one. Oh, here's a new shark. The next shout out goes to Claudia Mata. She sold a premium listing, sent the information through ManyChat bot, and yeah, I think that's her first listing. So congratulations, Claudia. I didn't even see that post yet, so give me love it. You know, some people are like building the premium listings, like their income just off of specifically premium listings. So keep that in mind. You know, I haven't been focused on selling the premium listings as much as building my list, but we will go into that. And again, that's what I'm going to be talking about a little bit more next week, Wednesday.
Yeah, awesome work, Claudia.
Let's check out the popular post of the week.
Well, there's one more. There's one more.
Did we already talk about that?
Yeah, but we need to at least give her a shout out and say happy birthday.
Happy birthday,
Jacqueline. Happy birthday. Nick's trying to deny you your shout out. Ah, man.
Oh, no, I wasn't trying to deny her shout out. I thought we already talked about the SEO.
Well, I just did want to just show it to everybody so they can see which one it's in, and we actually have it tagged under resources, so you can find it there. But it's Jacqueline. You should go and read Jacqueline's post on how she set this up through Facebook and all that stuff. So it's really good. Don't test her system though. Like,
yeah,
set it up yourself.
Jacqueline. I wasn't trying to deny you your shout out. I just didn't want people to go. Now you're going to get a bunch of people that are going through your list, and you're going to think you get a whole bunch of leads. So,
all right, I didn't mean to make you feel bad there, Nick.
It's okay. Happy birthday, Jacqueline.
Yeah, happy birthday. I did see too, like another interesting thing I saw is that right now Facebook, with a really small number of businesses, they're rolling out email tools. So like they actually have built into the Facebook platform a way for people to collect emails, build email lists, just like an autoresponder built right into Facebook. So they're just doing a small test right now to see if it's worthwhile, and then they may roll it out to a bigger audience. But pretty amazing. She said she can cope. Awesome. Okay. All right. Now where do you want to go?
We're going to the popular post.
The popular posts. All right.
Which for some reason has been removed. Maybe it wasn't a compliant post is why it was extremely popular.
Maybe we should talk about that for a minute.
Sure. It's a good idea.
Yeah, because there's, sometimes it's, I know we have like the rules and the things that people see when they first join the group, but it's always a good idea just to kind of let you guys know sort of where we stand on it, what we like to see in the group and all that kind of stuff, right? So there's a couple of things. One, obviously, like, no posting of, like affiliate links or your own products or things to sell or stuff like that. Like if you guys have something, if you have your own course or product, something that you think the sharks would be interested in, the way to do that is to go to offlinesharks.com/support. And we have one of the radio buttons there is a business proposal. And so just send us a message and, and tell us what you've got going on, what you want to do. And then we take a look at those and evaluate those and decide whether, it's something we want to do or not do. The other thing is the other big one is like indirect promotion. So, what is an indirect promotion? So an indirect promotion is something like, anybody want to know how I'm getting 10-cent Facebook leads? DM me, right? Like where you're not like, or you make a post and you ask people to direct message you for more information. We've really built up, like, this is a great group, right? Like the people in this community are so good. They're so willing to share their information. Like we just don't want it to turn into something where, you know, we want the exchange of information to flow, right? Without without people getting, trapped into buying things and stuff like that. So it's important for the integrity of the group that we follow those rules, right? So no direct promotions, no indirect promotions, which is that like, hey, DM me for this, unless you've cleared something like that with Nick and I, like you've emailed us and we've said, yep, that's okay, go ahead and do it, right? So that's that one. And I think, again, we want you to share information, things that'll benefit the group. And so, but like if you're going to lead someone out of the group, and you're going to take them someplace else, don't have that link be an affiliate link. Don't send them to a page that has an opt-in, like none of that stuff, right? Like if you really want to share some valuable information with the group, just share it. No strings attached. Don't try to get an opt-in or anything like that out of the group. Just share the information. So
well said, Tom.
Yep.
So here,
we have another one on there. We have another popular post. It's from Devin Atkins.
This is a popular question. Question. So Devin asked, hey, family of sharks. What's up, Devin? Is it a good idea to use Google My Business as a free thing to offer as a lead magnet to show them all the places they fall short and use that to get the foot in the door, then deliver in those services that they are lacking in? Absolutely. Absolutely. That's one of our strategies, actually. I mean, we talked about it last week, I think, right? About the audit, Tom? I think that.
Yeah, I think we might have mentioned the audit last week.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, anything like that, anything like that where you can, it's something that is a pain point for them. And then you can deliver some type of service at a low cost. Like we've kind of found the sweet spot for, like, we call it the foot in the door offers, right? Like we've kind of found the sweet spot for foot in the door offers to be below $500. So, if you can identify an issue that a prospect has, and then you can fix it for under $500, that's usually a pretty good combination to get your foot in the door. And then, if it's a service that leads you to other things, like the nice thing about Google My Business is when you're looking at their Google My Business listing, you're also able to look at their website. It's not just the optimization of that page, right? Like you can say, hey, while I was doing this, I noticed your website is missing A, B, C, D. Like you should have those things on your site. Or while I was, then when I was looking at your website, I noticed that you're not linking to any social media platforms. Are you set up on those social media platforms? Like if not, you should have those set up. So, things that spider out like that, right? Those make really good foot in the door offers. And then if you can, deliver some value and get the foundation things set up for under $500, you're usually pretty good.
Yeah, Dorn actually has a good comment here where he talks about not offering Google My Business for free. He says low cost, but maybe not free. Afterward, offer a marketing strategy session, give him ideas that they can implement or hire you to implement. Stop pitching, start helping. Consultative sales is the best way I've found to get business. I really like that, Dorn. I think you're right on the money there. I wouldn't do like an entire Google My Business optimization for free, at least at where I'm at right now. If I had maybe no clients at all and I was like desperate to do something to get some sort of interaction or response to really anything, I mean, it would be something you could try. But, that's doing a lot. You want it to be a really low cost thing as a foot in the door, like Tom mentioned. And, I see the thread that you guys have here, you and Cheryl. If Cheryl is on this call, which I think she is, Cheryl, we're going to talk more about the script on the AGM training on Wednesday as well. So you'll want to come to that.
Yeah, and here's a strategy too that I got from a mastermind that I'm in, and this is, I think, I just want to share with you guys because you could do this around this GMB thing pretty easy, and it does require you to run Facebook ads though. So what you would do is you would, create a simple lead magnet, like a PDF. And this is from Nick Kuzmichik. Is that how you say his name? Kuzmich? Yeah. So he came on and did a talk for this mastermind group I'm in. And so the strategy he uses is he makes these little lead magnets. They're PDFs. The lead magnets are very specific. They're very short. They're only like 3 to 4 pages max. So you have a lead magnet that's like how to optimize your Google My Business listing, right? Make a nice little cover. You set up a landing page that they have to opt in with their email to get the lead magnet, right? So he runs traffic to that opt-in for the lead magnet to attract the people he wants, right? But what I thought was really great about a strategy is when they opt in to get the lead magnet, when they land on the page to download the lead magnet, there's a video of him. And the wording that he had for this video was really great. He says, like, look, thanks so much for downloading the lead magnet. It'll help you optimize your Google My Business listing. But hey, let's be honest. A 3-page PDF probably isn't going to answer all the questions you have. So here's what I would like to propose. I would like to get on the phone with you and see if I can help you out. Here's the deal, though. I know a lot of people don't want to make a call because they think it's going to be a sales thing. So my promise to you is I will not bring up you hiring me. Like if we have a conversation and you bring it up, great, but I won't initiate that talk. And you can schedule down below. I have a limited number of spots. I'd love to talk to you, right? So that's one thing he does to drive them to a call. But I thought that wording of let's be honest, a 3-page PDF isn't probably going to solve your problem is really great. The other thing he does, if you're not driving them to a call, and he, by the way, doesn't call them strategy calls. Like he calls them something else. But I can't remember what he exactly called them. But he specifically said, don't call them strategy calls because everybody knows that's a sales call. So he avoids that. So the other thing, if you didn't want to drive them to a call, what you would do is when they opt in and they're on that page to download the PDF, you would have the video say the same thing. Thanks for downloading thanks for getting the PDF, but let's be honest, a 3-page PDF probably isn't going to help you out. And now instead of driving them to a call, you make them what he calls a Godfather offer. And so you put together an offer they can't refuse. So what you would say in this, like one thing you could say in this case is, hey, like it's technical to optimize your Google My Business page. There's probably some things that you're going to miss. Like, I'm that's my specialty. That's my skill set. Normally I would charge, $4.97 to do that. But today I'll do it for $99 and maybe throw in something else. Right. So you just make them a really good offer. Dorn, I know you could probably crush it with this, where you had just a stack of things, right? Where you build out the value and then make them a price. And I just made those prices up, right? $99. Maybe you don't want to do that. Maybe what you're giving them is not just the Google My Business optimization, right? You could say like, look, Google My Business optimization is just a small piece of it. So here's what I can do for you. I'll optimize your Google My Business page. I'll build, 50 citations back. I'll help you generate reviews. Normally a package like this would cost, $2,000, but right now, because you're on this page, if you click the button below, I can do it for, $9.97 or something like that, right? Obviously you have to adjust that pricing to fit in with what you're doing, but I thought the strategy was really good, and he's crushing it with that on Facebook.
Yeah, our Godfather offer right now that we're doing is 30 days of free social media content. So like if you're a business owner and you come through our strategy, I mean, what if we offered you 30 days of free social media content? You'd probably say, sign me up, right? It's hard to refuse that, especially if you're, positioned correctly and you're busy. I mean, it's pretty obvious. So again, I'm going to talk more about that Godfather offer on the call. You can see the link on the screen. That's going to be next Wednesday. And this is actually, Tom, look at this, pretty cool from Ron. He said that he built an AGM directory that has all the AGM sites as listings. It shows what areas have an AGM directory and a directory that searches the site. Give some extra boost for everyone who puts their site in the directory. It's all free. Ron, I'm not sure if you posted that in the Facebook group, but would you do that so we could check it out and have a look? And anybody that doesn't have their site on there, they could put their site in there and, get added. That's pretty cool, Ron.
Yeah, that's awesome, Ron. I did see somebody in the comment asking about the training for the Groove Pages. And just so you guys know, so we talked to the Groove Pages team earlier this morning, and the templates, they're making the templates for us in Groove Pages. And for those of you that signed up and got the bonus, they gave us a target date of this weekend that they would have those templates done. So as soon as we have them, we'll get them to you guys. We have everybody's email address, so we'll be able to get it to you. The other thing is Nick did a video on his YouTube channel he did some Groove Pages training already. So if you're not subscribed to Nick's YouTube channel, go there and subscribe, and you can see the video he did. I think you posted it in the Facebook group too, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. But also, just so you guys know, that what I just talked about, my Godfather offer, the 30-day social media content, that's all built and delivered through Groove Funnels. So we're tying this all in for you. Yes, we have some strategy already. I made a video the other day on how to share funnels, and we're starting to talk about it. But also the actual funnels themselves that we're going to start to use for our local client getting methods, the delivery, the opt-ins, all those pages and everything that goes into an actual funnel. I'm going to be sharing that with you. I have a lot of really good stuff, actually. Been working really hard on it.
It's going to be awesome. And that's one of the reasons why we decided to open this one up for everybody, because we know you guys are going to get a lot of value out of it. See how we're doing this stuff and how we're incorporating all these things behind the scenes. Because a lot of times, it takes us, it takes us some time to work out all the kinks and get everything in place. And, we're trying to, we want to make sure things are at a point where you guys can actually implement them and do them, right? So we try to work out as many of the bugs as we can before we roll that stuff out. Let's see what else we got here, Nick.
So we have the.
Oh, wait. Dorn said Dorn, the guy's name is Nick Kazmuchik, and he's one of the top Facebook ads guys out there, and I think his training is, I think, like $8,000 and up. I think if you want to hire him to run Facebook ads for you, it's like 30. It's like a $30,000 a month retainer. But he's got a lot of good stuff out there. But his strategy that he laid out for us was really good.
So we have some Q&A that we can go through, or we can do the member of the week first. What do you think?
Let's do the member of the week, because the past couple of weeks we've almost forgotten it.
Okay. We have a member of the week, top contributor of the week. Every week we give a shout out, an extra special shout out to somebody who's the top contributor, most comments, the person that shares the most resources or helps out other sharks, just somebody that is really standing out in our community. And so this week, the member of the week is
dun, 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 dun.
Bill Marks.
Bill Marks. Congratulations, Bill. Don't know if you're on the call. I haven't seen his name pop up yet.
I don't think he's here, but I mean, I see him in the Facebook group a lot. So we really appreciate you, Bill, helping us out in the group and the other sharks, of course. So our team is going to reach out to you, and we're going to send you a special gift.
Awesome. Congratulations, Bill. Congratulations. I love the member of the week. It's a lot of fun.
I mean, it's so helpful to have, people in the group that are sharing and helping out. Like, can't tell you how appreciative we are of that, you guys, because I mean, while we're busy trying to figure out, how to create training and get information to you guys that'll work and help you, it takes a lot to do that. But it also takes a lot to be active in the group and help out all our sharks. And I can remember a time when we did all of that. And, it's just so helpful to have so many people just kind of strengthen numbers, I guess you could say, right?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, there was so one of the other things too, I don't know if you guys saw this week, one of the things we emailed out was access to what's normally a closed weekly coaching call for the Shark Alliance. So, we have our group, the Shark Alliance, and we've got a free there's a free membership. There's I think it's called the Plus membership, and then we have the Elite, right? And part of the Elite Shark Alliance membership is we do weekly coaching calls. And so we do different ones each week, right? Like the first Monday, we do a mindset action taking training. The second Monday of every month, we do like a straight training or a hot seat. On the third Monday, we do a Q&A. On the fourth Monday, we do best business practices. And then if there's a fifth Monday, which like there is this month, we do a bonus Q&A call. So we're meeting with them every week, right? So last Monday's call was all about dealing with overwhelm. And again, like we see people in the Facebook group talking about that, like, how do you get everything done? Like, how do you deal with the overwhelm? Like there's so many, we use, it's interesting because, when we very first, like, a lot of times when you look at what we're doing in our businesses, right, it's easy to think that you need all that stuff. And one of the things I want to say to you guys is like, you don't need all that stuff. Like we've slowly built up to this point, right? So it is today, in today's present time, it's much easier for us to add things to our business, right? To add new services, to bring in new software tools, because one, we have clients, we have a lot of clients, we have, good cash flow in our agency. So like we're in a position, we have a team, right? So like, it's not just up to us to implement everything. We have a team we can bring in. So, I know we try to share the things that we're doing in our agency with you guys, the things that we're bringing in, the stuff that's working. But I know when you're sitting there and maybe you're just getting started or you don't have a lot of clients, that can seem overwhelming, right? Like, oh my gosh, I need to buy something else. So I need and here's the deal. Like, no, you don't if it doesn't fit in with where you're currently at, like, don't buy it, right? Like, don't buy it. So one of the things that you should do is, and I think you have to like really take a good look at your situation and where you're at, right? So if you are in the camp that is just getting started, right, and you don't have any clients, like what you really need to be focusing on is getting those first clients. And you don't need all of the upper tier and advanced things that we talk about to do that. Like if you really today made a commitment to get clients, I mean, you don't really need anything, right? Like you could just open up a Microsoft spreadsheet, you could open up Google, and you could just start Googling different niches in your area. Like you could Google painters, you could start clicking on their websites, looking to see if their websites are up to date, looking to see if they have social, like you could go through, you could start building a hit list. Probably in a few hours, I bet you could have a list of 25 to 50 businesses that you would identify in your area that could really use your help, that something that they're doing doesn't look good, it's not right, right? And then you could just start reaching out to those businesses. You could either email them, you could call them, you could walk in, whatever it is, right? So, when you strip away everything, like, I mean, there's really, you don't need all that stuff to get started and get some traction. Like it, and you know, we talk a lot about this in our trainings. That is, you know, when people think of prospecting, they always think of quantity, right? Like, remember, Nick, when we put out our first lead tool and it was like, people were like, yeah, but it doesn't bring back thousands of leads. And we were like, what would you do with thousands of leads? Like, we can't handle thousands of leads. Like, give me 50 leads a week. And it's like, that's a lot of work, right?
It is. Yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, we've always been of the view that it's not about quantity. And I know you hear people say it's a numbers game, and I guess long-term it that can apply, but it's not about quantity. Like, you don't need to be emailing and sending out thousands of things a day, or sending out, you know, you could just start, you know, just sending out 5 emails a day or 5 direct mail letters a day or whatever it is, right? Making 5 calls a day. That's enough. And pretty soon you're going to be pretty busy if you do that consistently, you know, Monday through Friday.
Oh, yeah.
So, but I guess where I'm getting with this is, like, we've always been of the view that you should spend more time making sure the people you're reaching out to are quality, right? So what do I mean by that? Like, just the things that we talked about earlier with the foot in the door strategies. Like, you want to identify businesses that need your help, right? So, you know, spending that extra 10 to 15 minutes looking at their website, seeing if they're on social media, checking out their Google My Business listing. Like, you will, you know, go to LinkedIn, see if you can find them on LinkedIn, get their first name, try to find the owner. You know, you can use free tools like hunter.io will help you find people's email addresses. You know, sometimes you can use the Whois lookup. You know, if you look up their domain, sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes you luck into them giving their personal email address there, and it's not blocked. So, you know, going and looking for those businesses on LinkedIn so you can figure out the name of the person you want to talk to, and then identifying that there's issues you can help them with. Now you can really do something that most people don't do, which is approach them like you know something about their business. That is way more effective, right? Like saying, hey, I live in this area, you know, and I know, you know, I come to your business, but I just noticed, like, your website looks like it was built in 1991. Like, what's up with that? Like, that's a way better conversation, you know? What was the thing we talked about on the one line? Did you build that yourself?
Did you build that yourself? That's the way to do it. Yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, identifying that, and then, so that's the first step, right? Most people skip that part. They don't want to spend that time. They're just looking for quantity. Okay. So stop that. Start looking for quality. The next part is, you know, have a plan to follow up. And this is why you don't need a huge quantity to be successful, because when you incorporate your follow-up, that's what's going to keep you busy. So if you're reaching out to just 5 businesses a day, right, Monday through Friday, that's 35 businesses in a week. Now, the next week, you're going to have follow-up to do with those 35, plus you're reaching out to a new 35. So you can see how quickly it snowballs, and all of a sudden you have a lot of stuff going on, right? So if you are in the camp of, not having consistent cash flow or not having any clients, like that's what we want you to focus on. Like, all those things that we talk about, the nifty software tools, all that stuff, they will still be there when you get some clients. It's just you'll be in a better position to be able to make them work, right? So focus on that first. Now, if you're in the other boat, like if you're like Dorn, if you're like Bruce, if you're like Megan, if you have consistent clients coming in, you have cash flow coming in, then it's a different situation, right? You want to evaluate each one based on what you're trying to do, what your goals are, and all that kind of stuff, and, budget and all those kinds of things. And so, but you should pick and choose, right? You should pick and choose. So the reason I bring all that up is because the video that we emailed for everybody this week was around this, right? It was about dealing with overwhelm. It's about, some specific strategies and tactics you can use. And so if you're feeling overwhelmed, whether you're just getting started or whether you're, experienced in feeling overwhelmed, there's a lot of good stuff in that video that will help you. And again, there's nothing to buy in the video. It was a coaching call we did for our private membership, but we thought the information was really super relevant and really would be real. We wanted everybody to be able to see it. So if you haven't watched that video, you should do that. So check through your emails. We've been emailing for it this week. Again, there's nothing to buy in there. It's just, it's pure content. I think it'll help you. But the other reason I wanted to talk about this is because it's time for what are Tom and Nick reading this week. And this book that I have ties in to what we're just talking about. And you can see all the books we recommend by going here. So this book, I was talking to Paul Edwards, who is the host of Influencer Networking Secrets podcast. And good podcast. If you haven't listened to it, you should go listen to it. But he recommended this book to me. He actually sent it to me. Wasn't that nice of him? He was like, "Oh, just give me your address. I'll send you a copy." So anyway, it's called The 12-Week Year. Get more done in 12 weeks than others do in 12 months. So I had actually never heard of this book, but it's a New York Times bestseller. But this book is it's really good. So the whole premise of the thing is that you stop doing what's called annualized thinking. You know how most companies and businesses, you make your plans based on the year, and they'll break them down into quarters. Like you stop that. So what you do now is a year is 12 weeks. So you make plans and you map them out over 12 weeks. And at the end of those 12 weeks, it's a new year. You get to start all over. You get to make new, whatever you want to do. And so the idea behind it is what happens to most businesses is they go along through the year, right? And they have these goals and they're trying to hit them, but the end of the year always seems really far away, right? So they're not motivated to do them. Then when they get to October, November, December, man, everybody at the company jumps into gear because they're trying to it's almost the end of the year, right? They're trying to get their goals done. And so performance and everything goes up at the end of the year, but it's not very good the rest of the year. And so by breaking up your planning this way, you're able to perpetually be in that state of it's long enough to really make significant changes, but it's short enough that you can always see the end, right? And so you're constantly there's urgency in everything you're doing. And so the whole book is about how you shift your thinking from annualized thinking to this new 12-week model. And they lay out how you break everything down and all that stuff. So I've really been it's really been interesting because I've been super impressed with it because a lot of the things in here, I've been trying to come up with ways to do this, but I haven't been able to put words to it, right? They weren't fully formed thoughts. They were just ideas. And then I'm reading this, I'm like, oh my God. And it's all the stuff that we talk about a lot, right? About how, the results you're getting are because of the choices you're making, right? And they talk about, it's not really about work-life balance. They call it deliberate imbalance. You have to decide, how do you want your life? There's never going to be an equal amount of time in work and play. And you have to decide, what kind of life do you want? And then you adjust your things you're doing to make that life. And that may mean you work more than you travel, or it may not, right? It's up to you, right? There's no right or wrong answer to that. So yeah, a lot of really good stuff in here. This is something that I'm going to be working on implementing because I just think it's right on the money. But it's called The 12-Week Year. It's by Brian P. Moran and Michael Lennington.
I'll have to get that one. So it's sort of you give yourself, instead of one annual deadline urgency, you have multiple per year.
Every 12 weeks.
Every 12 weeks.
Right. And now think about that too, because it's if you're because one of the things they talk about is like, he talks about whenever you're trying to change something, whenever you're trying to change your behavior, right? Like there's this process that psychologists have shown people go through when you try to change. There's here, I just read this last night. So let me go over this because I thought this was pretty good.
It's funny. Tom and I really figured out about the deadline urgency when we did our first product launch. Actually, when we did our second product launch, then we started because we'd set a date, and we so many things. There's so many moving parts to a product launch, and we tried to do it the next time without setting a date, and we could not get anything done. So
Yeah,
we actually have to set a date in order to get everything done.
Yeah, you have to have deadlines. Well, and these make and doing them in 12-week chunks, right, makes all the deadlines closer. Right? Because a lot of people just think, oh, I don't have to really work on that. Like, I really don't have to work on that this week because I have 360 days left to get it done. Like, you see how it slowly invades your thinking, and you don't realize that you're not moving closer, right? Because the end goal is too far out. And the other argument they make, which I think is valid too, is that how do you really know what's going to be going on a year from now? Like 12 weeks really makes it easier for you to adjust and make plans that are actually going to happen, because it's, you can, like right now, like if you were doing a 12-week plan and then COVID hits, like you'd be able to adjust and adapt, right? Whereas if you had already made your plans for the whole year, it's hard. So, but the thing they talk about with change is there's 5 stages that everybody goes through. So there's uniformed optimism. That's when you first start to make a change. So it's like, I'm excited. I'm going to the gym. I'm going to lose some weight, going to work out, right? Like uniformed optimism. Like this is going to be great. So you start going, you go a few times, you feel good. Oh, I've never felt better, right? Been going to the gym, been working out. Then there's like informed. And so basically what they say is this is when like the price that you have to pay for the changes you're making, you haven't experienced those. You haven't experienced any downside, right? Then you have informed pessimism. So now you're like, I really don't want to go to the gym. Like, but you go like you're just not feeling it, but you go, you need to do it, right? You need to do it. Then there is the valley of despair. And by the way, they say when you make any change, you go through all 5 of these. So the valley of despair is usually where people get derailed, because what's the point? I'm not losing weight. I'm not really seeing any results. Like it's taking up my time. Like, and if you don't have, there's things you need to have in place to get through that. Right. But also the other part of that is like, if you have a shorter timeline, like, look, I only need to do this for 4 more weeks. It's much easier to stick to it. Right. Than thinking I need to do it for the rest of the year. Then there's informed optimism. So once you get through the valley of despair, you're in informed optimism. And then eventually you end up in success and fulfillment, where it's just a part of your life and you've shifted your thinking. But everybody goes through those 5 stages. And so, this 12-week plan really allows you to have a better chance of getting through all that, right? Combating it.
Good stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, we should get a copy for Cam too, I think.
Yeah, I need to get a copy of that book. The Valley of Despair. That's pretty funny.
The Valley of Despair. Well, and when they talk about it in there, like, I know we've experienced this in our business, right? Like
I'm feeling Valley of Despair in a couple of places right now. And I mean, I would agree that, that's where most people get derailed. And also where, when people get derailed, they don't come back. And that's the worst part, right? Like, if you don't come back. So if you get hit with a roadblock, say, for example, for no particular reason, you're trying to run paid advertising on a platform like Facebook, and you get shut down occasionally. And, each time you get shut down, again, I'm just saying this for no particular reason.
It happened to a friend of ours.
Yeah, it happened to a friend of ours.
For a friend.
Yeah, which also isn't a lie. I mean, like 90% of our friends can't advertise on Facebook either. But anyway, let's say you hit that roadblock, like your account gets banned for no reason, and you just stop. You never start back up again. So it's there are things that you need to do to keep pressing onward. And I mean, such is the journey of entrepreneurship, I guess, right? If you stop every time you get derailed, if you just stop or give up, you know, you don't really get anywhere. You have to get good at getting back on the horse, I guess, or good at all those, good at feeling uncomfortable. That's what it is for me. It's, you know, I have all these things that make me feel uncomfortable that I don't like to do, so I don't do them. But the more you can get in the habit of feeling comfortable doing these things, or being all right with feeling uncomfortable, I think, at least for me, it's the way to get results quicker, or consistent is a good way to put it.
Yeah. Well, oh, hey, Latara said that her coach is a certified trainer in the 12-week year program. So would we be interested in having her on for a live? Yeah, Latara, we'd love that. Like, shoot me an email, tom@offlinesharks.com, so we can talk about that. Yeah, I guess the thing that I didn't mention about this method is like, they brought this from the sports world, right? So this is like all was pretty much refined with high performing athletes. Like, this is their regimen. This is how they break up their, you know, getting better at things, right? And there's a bunch of other things that go with it, but they're applying it to business. And yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. But the Valley of Despair. Yes. Well, you know, I see some of our sharks get there, right? Like, I've been trying this for a year. I've never gotten a client. Like, that's the Valley of Despair, right? Like,
whoa. Trying what for a year? Most people don't try anything for a year.
Well, you know what's interesting? It's interesting that you say that, because one of the things they point out in the book, which again, this was like, I was like, oh, finally somebody who's like saying what I've been thinking, is they talk about that most people don't execute, because their whole thing is it's all in the execution, right? It's all in execution. It's all in action and execution. So you can have all the great intentions you want, all the biggest desires, but unless you can act and execute, nothing's going to happen. And it's also all rooted in the fact that your actions today are what determine your outcomes, right? Like, what the actions you take today are what are going to determine your outcomes. And so one of the things they talk about is when people aren't executing, they have two choices. One is to either be honest with themselves and realize they're not executing and change their behaviors, right? Or two, just say, well, this system doesn't work, and go on to the next thing, because that's easier than looking at yourself. So the majority of people do that. They don't want to be ruthlessly honest with themselves, right? Which, as you and I know, is super critical. Like, you really have to be really ruthlessly honest with yourself. And so, you know, that is something that I think it's just true, right? Like, it's easier to just move to the next thing and forget the last thing and then say, oh, well, that didn't work, even though the reality is we didn't really execute it the way that we should have, right?
Yeah. Deflecting.
Yeah. And then, anyway, I won't say anymore because you want to read the book, but cool. Let's see. I'm looking at the comments here before. I've heard that Facebook's going to launch an Amazon-like platform. Oh, I hadn't heard that.
Huh.
Well, you know, I noticed that they have something already where you can put your products on your page and people can buy and check out, and they deposit the money right in your bank account.
Yeah, they've been doing a lot. I mean, like you said earlier about being able to email people directly through their platform. I mean, that's going to be a huge change. Jeez.
Well, I mean, when you think about everything they're doing, like, what are they trying to do? They're trying to keep people on the platform. The more, like, if you think about this from the businesses, like from our side as business people looking to sell things on Facebook, the more we could do that and people not leave the platform, I bet the happier Facebook would be. Like, what if you never had to send anybody to a landing page? Like, think about that with the email. Like, you could now get people to opt in, and they don't ever have to leave Facebook's platform. So it's smart on their part. Like, they're just trying to figure out how to keep businesses from driving people off the platform, but still be able to get the ad revenue.
What if they built like a ClickFunnels in their platform?
I mean, if they had it all in there, like, why wouldn't you
Like
use it?
group
Right? Like,
pages.
you run ads, you build your email list, send them the pages. Like, they don't ever have to leave Facebook. Of course. Now, whether that's good for a business or not good for a business, that's a whole nother debate, because now you're tied into them, right? And they control everything.
Hey, Ben Green, we answered this at the beginning of the feed. The GrooveFunnels, so the templates that Groove for the Groove pages, those are going to be done in next weekend, in about a week. And then we got one of the videos from Mike, and the other one is coming in. So we're almost there.
Yeah,
we'll be emailing you. Trust me. Keep an eye on your inbox. We'll be emailing everyone that picked up or purchased through us, and we'll send you the bonuses.
Cool. Awesome. Well, man, this was a great live. We went a little over.
Yeah, good call, everybody. Thanks, everybody, for hanging out with us and showing up.
Yeah, and if you haven't, if you're not an Agency Growth Machine member, make sure you go to this link and register for the call. So again, it's not a pitch for Agency Growth Machine or anything like that. This is our monthly coaching call we do for Agency Growth Machine members, but we're going to Nick's going to be really going in deep on what happens after you add somebody to your directory site, and that whole back-end process, which can be applied to anything. So you want to show up and hear all this and see what we're doing.
Yeah, I got to start working on my slides, but I like to keep them as fresh as possible. So a lot of the data and the analytics and the stats I am pulling from everything going on in the other room, like day before. So, but I do need to get working on those things. It's going to be a great call, everybody. I'm excited for that one. Next week, Wednesday at 3 p.m. Eastern. Sign up at the link at the bottom of the screen. And thanks for hanging out with us, everybody. That was a great live.
Yeah, thanks so much, guys. Enjoy the rest of your Friday. Stay safe. Practice aloha. Bye, everybody.